there's a lot of streets in Edinburgh quite like that. So can we ask you all just to cheat in a little bit closer at the back, folks? The road can get quite noisy, which is why I kind of bring you into this nice mellow little corner to do the next bit of the tour. So guys, we have seen where she wrote the majority of that first book. Now for parts of books 2, 3 and 4, that's when we need to look to the Elephant House coffee shop. So I think I asked earlier, how many of you have been to the Elephant House and seen it so far? A few of you? How many of you have been into the ladies' toilets there? It's just a survey. I mention it because she wrote a lot of books 2, 3 and 4 in the Elephant House, it's become a bit of a mecca for big Potter fanatics. And a lot of them go into the ladies' toilets, if they're ladies, and they write little messages to J.K. Rowling in there. Some people say, thank you so much, Jo, for writing stories that changed my life. Others have written on the wall that they are part of Dumbledore's army. I even heard the other day somebody had taken a permanent marker and drawn an arrow underneath one of the toilet seats and written inside it, this way to the Ministry of Magic. Don't try it, kids. Now, if you go into the gents' toilets there, this is also covered in graffiti. None of it's got anything to do with Harry Potter, but it's a good social study nonetheless, guys. Always worth checking out. So yes, she got her inspiration for a few characters there, and a few characters were born there, which is why it still has that sign up. But actually, the Elephant House didn't open in its current form until 6 months after the first book was published. So it couldn't have been the original birthplace, if you like. Now, when she got to about book 4, she was still writing bits and pieces in the Elephant House, but she was so famous that it got a bit difficult for her to carry on. Fans would come in and say, oh, you're J.K. Rowling, can you sign this? Can you do this? And there was this one reporter that seemed to always know when she was in there, and every time she just bought a coffee and just sat down to start work, this reporter would turn up, stick a camera in her face and demand to know what was happening to the characters. And that is when she created the character of Rita Skeeter. And so you can see that her fame and notoriety was very parallel to Harry's in a lot of ways. And to be fair, she didn't need to write in coffee shops anymore. She could afford not to. In fact, she could afford to book out quite nice hotels to go and write in. It's not that she didn't want to write at home, it's just that home was very busy and she couldn't really concentrate for very long periods of time. Her children were there, her family were around her. And so it was that on the 11th of January 2007, she booked herself in to the Balmoral Hotel here in Edinburgh. Does anyone know that hotel? Beautiful, 5-star, opulent hotel on Princes Street right next to the station. And it's got a big clock tower at the top so you can't miss it. We don't include it on the tour because it's quite a long way to go to. But it would be my privilege, if you want to see at least the view of it, I'd be happy to take you towards that at the end of the tour. Just come and let me know, no problem at all. But she booked herself into room 552 to complete the Deathly Hallows. And she didn't sleep for 2 days and 2 nights completing that work. And it was that she'd actually written the final chapter many years previously. She is an example of what we call an architect writer. She knows exactly where she's going, she's just got to figure out how she's going to get there. So for 2 days and 2 nights and a lot of coffee later, at 11:29 in the morning, she put the final full stop on the final chapter of the Deathly Hallows. She closed her laptop and she burst into tears. Bless you. Because she was so overwhelmed by the journey that she'd been on with these characters. From relative poverty, getting free lattes from her brother-in-law in a coffee shop, to being able to afford £500 a night for a hotel room. And she did what a lot of us would do in that moment, folks. She went to the minibar, she took out a bottle of Bollinger champagne, popped the cork, and drank every last drop in that bottle, because she's a very irresponsible drinker. A little while later, she took out a permanent marker from her pencil case, and in the corner of the room there is a marble sculpture, a bust of the Greek god Hermes. She went up to this Greek god with her permanent marker and she wrote, J.K. Rowling finished the Deathly Hallows here. Now folks, yeah, if any of us were to do this in the Balmoral, we would instantly be thrown out or arrested or both. But when the manager of the hotel, who knew her well, came into the room for coffee the next morning, he looked at it and went, thank you so much, Jo! And he put the price up on the room from £500 a night to £1,129 per night. but this does include breakfast. Now, it's no longer just room 552 either, folks. It's now known as the J.K. Rowling Suite. And it's got a little brass headwig to knock if you want to knock on the door. And of course, it's not just room 552 anymore, it's room 552 and 3/4. Thank you. Now, if you want to see the J.K. Rowling Suite, the managers at the hotel are absolutely delighted if Harry Potter fans want to go and see the room. They say go between the hours of 12 and 2, because if somebody was staying the night before and they've checked out, the cleaners will be in, and you'll be able to get in there and get a photo with that Greek god Hermes before the next lot are allowed to check in at 2. But they do ask that you ask, of course. So if you get down there to the front door and you see the security guys, you'll know them. They're the 6'7" Scottish guys with kilts on, who are all smiles. But do ask them, because if you don't ask them, they're highly trained security and they will take you out. But sincerely, we've never heard of a huge Potter fan being refused the opportunity to get a photograph at the J.K. Rowling Suite. And what a story that is, from that having to get free lattes from brother-in-law and writing manuscripts while her daughter slept, to being able to afford that hotel room to finish the Deathly Hallows. An extraordinary journey. And we are on our final bit of our own extraordinary journey, if you like. What we're going to do is make our way up to the end of the road, cross the zebra crossing, and then we're actually going to cross the road at the Elephant House coffee shop, so you can at least see it. And then we're going to turn right up to our final stop, the real-life Diagon Alley, folks. This way!